'Cause I don't want to play by these rules no more, and I won't let you take me in the fall no more, and I don't want to. Today I'm excited to welcome Shannon to Totally Music, who's joined me to chat about her musical career. Shannon, welcome to Totally Music. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, so my artist name is Official Shannon, and yeah, excited to be talking to Totally Music today. And I'm an independent female artist from London/Essex. I am also an events curator for Under the Radar London and event organizer for Matchstick Festival. And I'd say I'm a soulful pop artist that writes about my life, authenticity, being the best version of yourself, love, struggles, politics, and yeah, just everything I'm going through, I see people going through, and just trying to keep it real throughout the journey.
Well, it's great to have you on. So what got you into music?
What got me into music? Well, music's been part of my life since I can remember. I'd say since I was a little child. My mum always tried to get me to go to like Saturday drama school, which was kind of like a mixture of like singing, dancing, and acting classes. And that's pretty much stayed with me like throughout me growing up. So I ended up going to musical theatre for college at the Brit School when I was old enough. I was always doing the school plays at secondary school. Um, Went on to study a degree in musical theatre at university. And yeah, I kind of graduated not that long ago, about 4 years ago. So I've kind of just always been about the music since a kid. And I guess my parents' encouragement was to thank for that and all the opportunities I've been given along the way.
So for anyone who hasn't heard your music, how would you describe it?
Um, I would describe it as passionate, emotional, sometimes a bit of a ballad, sometimes a bit of a upbeat pop bop. I've got music for all seasons basically, but the thing that ties it all together is kind of being authentic, and just yeah, kind of revealing my authentic journey within music. Hence why I'm called Official Shannon. So it ties into my artist name as well.
So where do you get the inspiration from for your music?
Oh, I've got quite a handful of artists that inspire my songwriting and my music. Um, One of the main ones, I remember a phase in 2021, I was listening to Leanne LaHavis a lot. She's like an indie neo soul artist, and she always performs her and her guitar. And I just love that she's kind of like a standalone, like she's just so inspiring to me. Like the melody she writes, the harmonies she creates with her like her songs and on her guitar. And yeah, so Leanne Havis is a big inspiration. My mum and dad listened to Stevie Wonder a lot when I was growing up, and Queen. So I've got quite a mix of like genre influences as well. I used to hang around with a lot of boys at school and they listened to heavy metal music. And I thought I'd never be into that, but hanging around with it and kind of getting handed a Kerrang magazine when I was a teenager, I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of delving into this world now. And so I got into kind of Paramore and then more heavy stuff like Slipknot. And I don't know, I've had all these genres thrown at me my whole life growing up, and I love them all. So I'd say like I've got an eclectic taste, but in terms of when I'm performing, I've always been told and I've always known that I've had more of a soulful voice.
Yeah.
So I've kind of clung on to the genres like soul, and then my songwriting style is kind of like similar to pop with the structures. So I always kind of write a chorus that has a good hook and everyone can sing along to. Because like my gigs are always about getting everyone involved. Like even if you don't know the song, you'll be singing it by the end of the song. So I would have taught it to you at the gig. So yeah, it's all about make sure everyone's having a good time whenever I perform at my gigs. So yeah, all about inclusivity.
I like that. Um, so what's your favorite song you've written and why?
Um, I would say my favorite song I've written is a song called For Now. And I'm gonna go back to like that phase I had in 2021 when so I said that my inspirational artist was Leanne Havis. She brought out a self-titled album and I just was listening to it like non-stop on repeat. And I was like writing a lot at that time and I'd written For Now when I was in that phase. And it's very Leanne Havis inspired. And I think that's why it's my favorite song because it's kind of like that album got me through that writing process. I've put my own spin on it, my own touch with my own lyrics, and it's really kind of about mental health and how you deal with it, or how I deal with it. And it's kind of there's a lot of metaphors in it. It's kind of talking about the beach and the waves and the tides coming in and out. And it's very poetic, I think. And I'd never really, before that, hadn't written a song that had like all these powerful metaphors in it and hadn't really written that poetically before. So I'd say, yeah, for now, Official Shannon, that's the best track I think I've written so far.
Yeah. So what are your favourite set of lyrics you've written and why?
My favorite set of lyrics. So since the song I mentioned For Now, I have released quite a few other songs, and the latest single I released called Blame It is actually kind of very current in that it can really tie into like the general election we've just had in terms of like there's multiple meanings or you can take multiple things away from the song I've written, but one of the big things I used in my marketing of the song was that like if you can't be bothered to vote, then you don't have the right to complain about things. If you're not campaigning for change,
Yeah.
like, you just don't have the right to complain. Why isn't anything changing if you're not taking an active role in changing things for the better, if that makes sense? So it's kind of like a frustration song. And the lyrics I want to pick out from that is on where is it? The first verse. Now I've got to sing it back in my head to remember the lyrics. Uh, yeah, so it's honey, just move out my way and don't complain if you won't implement change. That's the first two lines of the song, and it's kind of like that is what the song is about.
Yeah.
So I've just said it in two lines. So the song could have been just two lines long, and you'd know what it's about. But yeah, I'd go with those two lyrics.
So if you could collaborate with anybody, who would it be?
Um, I saw another one of my like most influential artists called Amber Mark. She's an American like R&B artist, I'd say. And she did a gig. She came over to London for a gig like 3 years ago, and I went with my friend, and her stage presence is just impeccable. Like I was just like my eyes were glued to her all night. Like obviously I knew they would have been anyway, no matter what she would have done, but she just kind of brought that stage presence to like the next level. And like I saw a bit of like myself in her, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I always try and bring the most to my performances, like whether it's like in a bar with no people or it's in like a more of a music venue, more like I always treat it like it's Wembley or something. Like and she did that. She did exactly that. And there's just so much admiration for her. And I would love to collaborate with her because she produces her own music as well. She posts like her process online and stuff. It's just so inspiring. And I'd love to get in a room with her and just write some songs together and yeah, and sing a duet or something. That would be amazing. So Amber Mark, I'm manifesting one day we'll get in a room together and we'll write some stuff.
So what's been your favourite musical memory?
Um, my favorite musical memory. Um, I had the chance when I was in year seven at school to audition to sing at the O2 Arena.
Nice.
So it was kind of like the whole project was like you have these school choirs, right? And you kind of like there's a performance state at the O2 and like all the choirs kind of like sit together and they sing. And it's mainly an audience of parents or whatever, because it's yeah, the parents of the kids that are performing. But there were also like the choir would form obviously like the people that are singing like in the background for these like West End stars that are coming in to do the show. But there were these auditions for like solo parts where like you'd literally be on the main stage like next to these West End stars and you'd be singing with them. And I don't know if you remember that show Somewhere Over the Rainbow, that Andrew Lloyd Webber one. I think it's like there was like three of the finalists, the Dorothys on there. They performed at that show. It was like I think the theme was like James Bond songs or something. It was literally like in 2007 or something. I was literally I was like 11 years old. But I managed to secure an audition to sing a solo as part of that James Bond show next to some of these West End stars. And I was in year 7 and I managed to like secure one of the solo parts. And I remember like standing on that stage. I'm like, I'm literally on the stage of the O2 Arena. I'm not even a teenager yet. And all I remember just staring at these lights like, wow, like this is what it feels like to be like Ed Sheeran or someone like that, you know, like a superstar. And yeah, I'll never forget that. That is just it's just a core memory of performing at a venue like that. I hope to go back one day and be like, right, this time it'll be my own songs. But no, the O2 Arena was just insane. And I'll always remember that.
Sounds great. So what's been your favourite gig you've performed at?
My favourite gig, I'd say there's a recent one I did for one of my events that I run called Under the Radar London. And it's basically an event series where we showcase independent female artists and creatives. And I performed with my band at one we did in April, and it was at a venue called Paper Dress Vintage. We worked with them before with Under the Radar. They really enjoyed our event last time. They asked us back, and it was just such a great show because the room was packed out. Had my full band on there, had my backing vocalist with me, like I just brought everyone on stage with me. And it was just great because like I was supporting a headliner we had called Clara Machetta, and her energy of her band is just insane. So I was just happy I could kind of like warm up the crowd for her and like get everyone buzzed and energized. Those shows are always really fun. So I'd say Paper Dress Vintage is kind of one of the biggest venues I've done for my performing my original music. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite one so far.
So finally, what's next for you?
I'm quite a busy girl, and I am organising Matchstick Festival this year with my best friend Tom. So we're only 2.5 weeks away actually from the festival. It's on the 3rd of August, and we're the first festival in the UK to have a 95% female lineup on our main stage. So we're very proud of that. I'm going to keep pushing that kind of motive and agenda, kind of fighting back at kind of inequality within the music industry and the festival scenes of kind of lack of female headliners. And in terms of what's next for me for like my own personal artist project, I'm currently recording an EP with the Independent Musicians Collective, which is the group of singers that I'm part of. And we sing a lot of soul and gospel music. And I'm really excited to have written an original song with them. And we're going to do kind of gospel Christmassy style covers on the EP as well in time for a Christmas release this year. So we're currently recording it now in the summer while it's hot. And then trying to get all the wintry vibes in the summer. It's a bit weird, but by the time November, December comes around, hopefully we'll be spinning it around in different households and enjoying Christmas.
So I'm looking forward to following your journey. So
yeah, lots going on. So
yeah, massive thank you to Shannon for joining me on Totally Music. If anyone would like to check out Shannon's music, I'll leave all the links in the description below for you. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Tracy. So nice talking to you.
The way I dress is my personality. Said the way I dress is my personality.